Hello again, folks. It is Friday the 8th of August. It is about 4:15 in the morning, coming to that, and I just thought I'd go out for just a bit of a stroll, get some fresh air. Just quite restless. Just been a lot of things on my mind lately. So I thought I'd distract myself while I'm outside with some fresh air. Now, I watched the SummerSlam event this weekend. It was a 2-night event for the first time ever. Just kind of like Wrestlemania, how it's been a 2-night event for the last few years. Big stacked card. There was about 6 to 7 matches on each card, and I'm gonna just focus on the John Cena Cody Rhodes match and storyline itself. Now, I'm going to talk about just the last 2 appearances between Cena and Rhodes leading up to SummerSlam. So, a couple of weeks ago, there was a contract signing segment where usually if it's a big massive match, they'll leave that to the end of the show, right? So Cody Rhodes, so determined, he's just won the King of the Ring tournament to have his SummerSlam number one contender spot. He wants to climb up that hill of redemption. He signs the contract. I'm all in. And then that's followed up with John Cena. And then he then turns around and says, Cody, I'm sorry, but, we're going to have to do this some other time. Maybe a later event in Clash in Paris, or what's the other one called? The Crown Jewel in Australia. Right now, I've just have a commitment. I'm shooting a film or a TV show somewhere. And I'm sorry, everybody. And then he just walks off and say, I'm sorry, goodbye. And then Cody nope, you come fucking here. He grabs him and beats the shit out of him, and then he puts him through the table and forces Cena to sign the contract by dragging him, grabbing his hand, and then putting the pen in his hand and making him sign the agreement. And then Cody Rhodes says, you didn't see the fine print. It is now a street fight. So you're thinking, okay, right, they're gonna, take it up a level, right? The street fight stipulation, kind of interesting, right? It makes sense. And now we get to the following week in SmackDown, the final SmackDown before SummerSlam, right? And Cody comes out, followed up by John Cena came out, and then Cody Rhodes came out. I can't remember which one came out first, but then John Cena was like, "Oh, Cody, do you know what? I thank you. You've shoved a boot up my ass. I now realize who I am. I want to be and bring up the real John Cena. I want to revive the old John Cena for this match." And you're kind of going, right? And then Cody grabs a few beers from ringside. They salute, have a beer, and Cody says, "John Cena, welcome back," or "welcome home," right? And now, I didn't watch that bit, but because Raw and SmackDown, honestly, it's very missable now. It's getting to the point where, like, if there's a Raw and SmackDown, I will not even watch it, actually, until a couple days later, or not even watch it at all, in fact. So, anyway, it got me, because I didn't know about that segment, because when I watched the SummerSlam event, instead of, the heel Cena coming out sluggish and, the lights are dimmed and he's just taking his time to the ring, and then, his name is in big massive capital fonts in white with a black background, and then he's just up against the railings, or the ring, sorry. I'm leaning on railings, and he's just like this here with the championship strap facing the other direction. And okay, Cody comes out and they both hug, and I'm thinking, yous are about to beat the shit of each other. This is a street fight. Why would you kind of hug each other? You would leave that shit until the end of the match. Usually, if that's a sign that the feud's over with, and both competitors have each other's respect, right? So I was caught off guard. I didn't realize that the beer segment there was John Cena's face turn on a SmackDown event with no pop or no momentum behind it. I'm gonna go back to that in a second, but so the title's changed. Cody Rhodes wins the championship, and they embrace, and Cody Rhodes gives Cena the ring. Then here comes Brock. Brock's music hits, and he's out there, and he just looks jacked up as shit. Longer hair, bigger beard, the big cowboy hat. So this is him back. I'm not too sure if this legal case is pending, this accusation against him, but right. Well, okay. Well, Brock is back, but I mean, like, who wants to see Brock versus Cena in 2025 on Cena's last few months as an active competitor, right? So that makes no sense. But going back to Cena's face turn unexpectedly and underwhelmingly, he does it in such a way where you're kind of going like, what the fuck is going on? Because it would have made sense if he would have turned back to babyface after losing the belt at SummerSlam at the event itself. He could have still became heel right up until the SummerSlam event, and with the title change, he then becomes a babyface again. It would have made sense back then, and to be attacked by Brock afterwards would have justified that babyface turn. But just a lot of things don't make sense, and they're still booing Cody even while he's a face and now champion, and you're kind of thinking there's not a lot of heelish contenders on the SmackDown roster. There's only Drew. Everyone else is kind of, a mid-card, low-card heel, or all the rest of them, like Orton is a baby face. And obviously kind of means that, they're going to have to sort of jumble up the rosters again with the whole, the draft that they call it, right? But you probably would have thought that would have been the best time to actually turn Cody heel also. Do like a double turn with likely The Rock involved. He doesn't show up again. He's out of it now at this point. I have very little hopes of Roman versus Rock next year at WrestleMania, and that also, I think Roman Reigns' WrestleMania opponent will, him, if he's going to re-sign or not, is going to be a big, massive, that's going to dictate if he is going to win or lose at WrestleMania next year, but then at the same time against who? So it's just all over the place right now, and nothing's delivering. Like, the booking these days, it's all about that pop, but then it loses momentum. The John Cena heel turn was meant to, like, they really sold that thing so far for it to be the greatest heel turn of all time. And right, he wins the championship at WrestleMania for the 17th time. And before and after, his heel turn has been shit. He's just all over the place. Nothing makes sense in WWE right now, and it's a number of factors, including the absence of the old man, Vince, who's a genius when it comes to booking most of the time. Also, the ownership. TKO was all about money and adverts. They do not know jack shit about wrestling. They just want and care about the big paydays, like the big Saudi Arabia shows, which the Royal Rumble will be at next year in January. That's going to be very awkward. 30 women in front of a Saudi crowd. That's going to be very diverse. And I digress. It literally makes no sense. 5 months of Cena shit heel turn to turn back to a babyface good guy on a SmackDown right before SummerSlam, right before a street fight. Okay, I mean, the whole idea of, if it's a street fight, if it's a Hell in a Cell, last man standing match, that's meant to sort of cap off the feud, right? You know, like, they go to separate ways, and, you know, they might respect each other after that, right? But to be all buddy-buddy with each other right before a street fight, you're going like, what? Could you not have kept that until afterwards? To save that part for you know, the whole Brock Lesnar return and him just ragdolling John Cena. That would have been a perfect moment for Cena's babyface turn, and Cody Rhodes being very aggressive in that SummerSlam. Nothing was delivered. It makes no sense. It's like they're swapping out the big characters. You've had The Rock involved in this here. He's been in and out. Okay, then he swapped out. And then, you know, you have, for frig's sake, like, then Brock comes back and you're going like, you know, Brock could have, like, both scenarios scenarios that ended night 1 and night 2, I would have swapped them around. I would have actually had let Gunther win night 1 against Punk, and then Brock's music hits, and that would have set up the Gunther and Brock match, which everyone wanted to see. And then maybe Seth, instead of like focusing on the Raw side pull, he could have actually cashed in the John Cena Cody Rhodes match, and that would have justified Cody Rhodes to still be babyface. But, you know, we've got what we've got instead, and it makes no sense. It really doesn't. I think there's going to be just my voice is echoing. I think it's going to be just a steady sort of decline in the viewership. It's not reaching record-breaking, you know, smashing box office like records or whatever you want to call it. They're just going to be dropping, and there has to be major changes within its leadership, and everything has to be looked at. There has to be big, massive changes because the product is absolutely shit. And the funny thing is that at SummerSlam there, like, everyone was involved because there's so many matches. Like, you've had Punk, you've had Randy, you've had Drew, you've had Roman came back, teamed up with Jey Uso, but like, everything just does not make sense. Like, Charlotte, Alexa, you know, they're all pretty good in the women's division side. You have Becky, but it just feels like something has been lost. I think that buzzing it factor has just somehow disappeared. Just ever since, like, not immediately, but just ever since the new massive leadership change, and the old man had to sort of, you know, remove himself from the whole situation because of his whole legal issues. Now there are saying that somehow he may actually get out of all this mess he's in, and I don't know how that's all going to work. And he's going to somehow buy back his company, and he's going to have Shane, his son, under his wing. And knowing he's not going to be around too long, you know, he's going to, you know, give the inheritance and, you know, everything down to Shane and to Stephanie and Triple H. It's going to be that. But I don't know. It just, it's just really, it's just rubbish right now. It's like, bottom line, you can have Becky Lynch back, you can have CM Punk back, Randy Orton in there, and, you know, Brock, and, you know, Seth cashing in, but like, there's something has been lost. The buzz, that it factor, like they're saying around WrestleMania 40 last year, professional wrestling is cool once again. Is it? Fuck. It is absolutely rubbish. It is cluttered with ads, hefty ticket prices, and just no substance, and really bad leadership on top of shitty ass booking. Stop telling us that the John Cena heel turn was the greatest heel turn of all time, and we're all supposed to be wowed at it, and, you know, the hats off to everyone who put that together. Like, fuck off of all that there. Like, the bottom line is that the Cena heel run has been nothing but nonsense, crap, boring, confusing, and if that same shit is going to keep up with him or anybody else, it's just gonna be dead. I'm telling you right now, simple as. Right, well, that's my rant over. That was SummerSlam. Very underwhelming. Yes, there was good matches, but they were kind of still like meh. Yeah, so, and also to top it off, there's going to be possibly another big slash of releases with staff, talent across the board, possibly within this month. So yeah, that's also going to be another thing. But right, it is just after 4:30. I'm just walking back home, and that was my SummerSlam review. My rant over. See you in a bit.